Hi lovelies, Blossom again. So if you come from my other video, you know that this is a sample reading. If you haven't seen all the cards of the Bonefire Tarot, I will put the link in the description box for my review of this tarot deck. Now I have created a spread and I call it Embracing the Wild Self. And usually that wouldn't be a deck where I would do a spread like that, but I'm stepping out a bit out of my comfort zone here and I thought just try it. So here you can see all the cards, and the first card is the current status of my wild inner self or inner wild self. Then the second card is the benefits with working with the wild self. The third card is what to be careful about while working with the wild self. Card number 4 is how to embrace my wild self. Card number 5 is how to best work with the wild self. And then the last card is a final message for my inner wild self. If you like this spread, feel free to make a video yourself if you want to. Of course, nobody has to. If you want to, make a video yourself and post the link in the comments so I can see it. I would be really interested. Now let's see what the cards have to say. There we go. Now, oh, okay, that's interesting. So this is the current status of my wild self, and here we have the Devil card. So clearly what you can see immediately is that something is kept locked down and hidden in a way. So for me, the Devil always suggests that you let it out more, that something is very suppressed and you have to let it out. In this case also, I am actually working with it, you know, to live my wild self more out. But I have that idea that only works, also it is related to wild places for me. And actually in the past few weeks I was constantly looking for wild places to be alone, you know, a very raw environment and without other human beings, if you want so. And this is just very hard to find. And I think with this kind of thinking that I only can live it out like that, I restrict myself too. So we clearly see that in the Devil card as well. That gives me really, you know, you don't have to be so stuck in that idea that you only can live it out in a wild place, but you can live it out everywhere. You can do that in your own home, in your garden, in whatever. You walk through the city and you still can have that wildness in you. You don't have to tame everything. And this is how I see the Devil. I will mention that now, just shortly. This is a sample reading for myself. This is how I read the cards. If you see a card differently, that is completely okay. It is okay for you to read it completely different, and it is okay for me to read it completely different. Just so you know. Okay, well, that is that. Really, you know, letting go of to restrict myself, and really for me, the Devil always a reminder to let that more untamed energy out. Then the next card, the benefits of working with the primal self or the wild self, whatever you want to call it, primal self, wild self. Oh, and there we have the Page of Wands. Nice. So just making it nice. There we go. And yeah, okay, yeah, well, first of all, of course, with the wands we have that very fiery energy, and then with the page we have that young fiery energy. I really like that, so it's really refreshing. And also it gives the idea of, if you work with it, you will tap into that fiery young energy, and you will have new adventures. And it is also a very playful card. It is also very much about living in the now. Living in the now, seize the moment. As in the book, it will not last forever. So really to start to appreciate every single moment instead of pondering about, you know, future and what could be and everything, but really enjoying where you are right now, and really fully live it. Because there is so much to explore, there is so much more to see in life than just your routine. So it really says, take a risk, step out of your comfort zone. So those are the benefits, because you will be able to have new adventures if you take on it, if you invoke really that energy, if you really allow yourself to take risks, to go for adventures, to be high energetic, you know, instead of just overthinking. Because this is clearly not a card of somebody who overthinks stuff. Then card number 3 is what to be careful about while working with the wild self. And again, wands, 2 of wands. What is important for me here is to focus, that I really need to focus on what I want, and that I can allow myself to take enough time that my ideas take form, and also to make the decision to truly follow my passion, to follow something where I really stand behind 100%. This card also talks to me a bit that there is not the one definite truth. The truth that I'm seeking is not just out there, it's not there. I have to allow myself to give myself and the truth that I'm actually seeking, or to give it space to create that, and I create it. But really first, first of all, I would say really to be more focused on one thing, and not to let myself be distracted so much. Then card number 4, how to embrace the wild self. And then we have the 7 of wands. Well, by not fighting it. Sometimes, you know, cards are very clear, don't fight it, embrace it. Well, thank you. But this card also talks to me that I am well prepared for everything that is coming my way, so there is no need to worry. And by not worrying so much, I can embrace it more, because I don't have the need to fight it. And this card, the 7 of wands, is also for me about, you know, taking one step at a time. What we had in the card before as well, you know, to allow myself more time, taking one step at a time. I am prepared. And also how I can embrace the wild inner self, or my primal self, is, by really choosing my battles. What is really worth fighting? Only fight what fits to my own truth. But if we really want to take it very simple, I would just say, yeah, well, you can embrace it by not fighting back against it. Then the next card, how to best work With the Wild Self, there we have the King of Cups. I really like that King of Cups because he is completely in the ocean, he is completely in the water, he is one with it, he's one with his emotions, and he's really able to control them. I think here with the King of Cups in this card, he is somebody who is well aware of the bridge between the spiritual matters and the earthly matters. So he can juggle that pretty good. He's such a well-balanced person. Even if he is of cups, he's very grounded and still very spiritual. So I love that balance in the King of Cups. That's what I see here in this card. Especially in this deck, especially because it's not with every deck that you have that. I think that's just my personal opinion. Yeah, and so best work is to come into that balance, as well as you can also see here the yin yang symbol on his crown. To come into that balance of spiritual and earthly matters, and also to be really aware and to know that you are unique in this universe. And also this card talks a bit to resolve issues from the past, let them be washed away. I love how he is completely immersed in the water here, because he let just the waters, the fresh water just wash everything away, every issue, so you can start anew. It's like when you take, when you go into the ocean and you feel so refreshed afterwards, because the salt water is just cleansing you. So being refreshed and cleansed for a new start. So as much grounded he is, he is the King of Cups. So he is somebody who can dream big even, and somebody who can seize the magic in everyday life, in the mundane. So being really capable of seeing the magic everywhere. So this is how I could work with my wild self, by really coming into that balance, knowing that the spiritual is just as important as the earthly matters, and to be in a perfect balance, to allow myself to dream big, not to overthink a lot, but to really go with the flow and allow everything from the past to be washed away. And then the last card is a last final message for my wild inner self, and there we have the Hermit. Well, this card, the Hermit, of course, we always have going within in deep meditation and all that stuff, but when I look at the rest of the cards, with that very fiery energy in this spread for me now, it talks to me, allowing myself to stay the independent thinker, but it's more like a step out of it. So to bring those shadows into light, and then let myself be cleansed. And then also is somebody who suggests to feel safe in your own skin, and to accept your darkness. In this case, this really means to me. It is still, for me, a message of not losing that, because for me, the Hermit also has a very shamanic feel, not to lose that. This is important for my work, I think, for my work with the wild self, because I go into more earth magic or wild magic or whatever you want to call it. I don't mind. And so still have that energy, but to step out more a little bit, then usually instead of hiding it, really let it out. And as I mentioned already, to bring those shadows, sorry, to bring those shadows into the light. As I mentioned already, we see a lot of fire going on. So, and it's interesting, since a long time I don't have swords in a spread. So I am somebody who overthinks, and here we see clearly the message with the fire is come more into action than the thinking. Then the message from the devil to it's all about stepping out. It's all about stepping out. So, as I mentioned already, it is just a sample reading. It just, it is a reading for myself, but it's quick. I don't go too much in depth to keep the video as short as possible. And as I said before, if you would like to do this spread as well and you want to do a video too, please leave the link in the comments. I really want to, I would love to see it too. Or if you even if you have another spread for that kind of reading, you know, I would be interested. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this a bit and it wasn't too boring. And hopefully I will see you in one of the next videos. Thank you, bye!